Hey everybody, welcome to ACD Combatives. This is Coach Kurt. This is a video about teaching pummeling and basic clinch drills. It is an extremely important part of training. It is part of the warm-up, but it's also important to stretch it from the warm-up into progressive drills that eventually get you better at the clinch and get you into your takedown game. It is the most important range, in my opinion, for training. Now we're doing some clinch sparring. You see we got our gloves on. Guys, we're not going crazy on each other. But this is a great way to build up sensitivity in the clinch range. Extremely important range to drill in. And you're going to see me make a crucial mistake here in a second. I think you're going to find it fun. So I get him off me with a front kick. We re-clinch. You see we're doing active punching in this. I take his back, but I get a little too high, and I let my arm get over his shoulder, and he does a shoulder throw. And I wanted you to see that again because it was a decent throw. Guys, that's the great thing about this clinch drilling or clinch sparring, as it were, is that it really opens up any mistake you make. If you're training with somebody that has a good sensitivity to balance, then they're going to take advantage of it. So I took him down, tried to take his back. Colton wasn't going to let me have his neck. He did a really good job of rolling into my guard. And because we're doing MMA or combatives, we're not going to turn this into a ground fight. I just kicked him off of me and then did a tactical get up. Again, this is for self-defense and for law enforcement control tactics. As you see, we're doing dirty boxing with the clinch. You won't get that at a normal jiu-jitsu school. That's one of the reasons I like training with Colton. We incorporate dirty boxing range, or this, like he's doing little rabbit punches and knees and elbows and even kicks. There, I'm getting tactical get up again. That's an important aspect of your clinch sparring. So now we're going to practice some pummeling. It's hard to teach pummeling to a new student, so I thought it would be important to get pummeling on video. And you can see we're just shifting, swimming through. I swim with the right hand, he swims with the left. Back and forth, and we're just shifting weight from one shoulder to the other shoulder. And it's amazing how hard it is for a new student to pick this up for some reason. It's like watching a monkey screw a football sometimes. It's entertaining, but once you get the pattern down, guys, this is really important because this is how you try to establish the double underhook or off balance somebody, or a deep underhook, whatever it is, to off balance and get in on somebody for a takedown or a throw or a projection, or even set them up for a really good strike. So pummeling is extremely important. Now here we are doing pummeling again, but we're adding a drill. So you do pummel 3 ways, or 3 pummels, and then one person goes to a collar tie and tries to take the person down or redirect them. It's not even necessarily a takedown. You do something offensively. And there he goes. He did a collar tie, and then he threw a punch. So we do 3 drills again. If I remember right, it's my turn. I'm just going to do a redirect with a stiff arm, basically. It's one of my favorite entries. It's kind of a Krav thing. Guys, that was a right into an elbow. That would have probably hurt me really bad, if not knocked me out if it was real. And again, there I go again, using that dive entry that I like so much. It's reminiscent of a flinch response. And there he was doing a single leg. He wants to do it again because he didn't like how he entered, so he drilled it again. Guys, this is a good drill too, because it teaches you it's the next step up from just doing pummeling. Now you're learning how to use the pummeling offensively as opposed to just doing a drill. And here we are doing a Russian 2-on-1. He just shrugged his shoulder and steps through with his lead leg, and he does a Russian 2-on-1. So we're doing that from pummeling now. So we do 3 pummels, and then the other person takes a turn. See how I shucked the shoulder with my elbow, and I go to the outside. That's a Russian 2-on-1, or you just call it a 2-on-1. And then you got to do something offensive from there. That's what we're building up to. So here he is, or there we go. Yeah, he does Russian 2-on-1, and you can see he could do a step around, and I'm trying to defend it with a stiff arm again. We're just kind of ad-libbing at this point. It's kind of hard to narrate sometimes because Colton and I train together so much. We just do stuff. Here he is doing Russian 2-on-1. Guys, this is a terrific drill. I can't emphasize enough that pummeling is great, but then you want to build it into something useful. And switching to a collar tie or getting the double underhooks for a takedown or setting them up with some off balancing for a strike. You'll see it coming up here in the video real soon. Colton does that. He chucks off to a 2-on-1 and then he rotates through with an elbow. And from the side, it's going to look like, if I remember right, it's going to look like he did a takedown, but it was actually an elbow that would have knocked me out in real life. Or if it didn't, I would have definitely had a headache for a long time. And I'll point that out. There I am doing that stiff arm technique again. I like it a lot. It's a wrestling thing, or I learned it from a wrestler in MMA. Colton was trying to get his head as a third point of contact just like that, third point of contact. And then the best way to defend that is for me to turn into it and put my hand on his forehead or his temple and push it away to create distance. Again, we're just doing a lot of off-balancing training in this. Here we are with the pummeling again. I do the 2-on-1, and here's my Hapkido coming out. I go to a wrist lock. I've done that so often in my life with Hapkido background that it's kind of a subconscious go-to sometimes, going to the wrist or some kind of entering throw. There's that elbow I was telling you about. Steven Seagal be damned. Instead of a stiff arm, he used an elbow, guys. That's a really good technique that would have probably knocked me out. Colton definitely likes the striking. I think you'll see it. This is a different angle, and you'll see that elbow. And from this angle, that elbow he uses is going to look like a takedown, but it is a takedown, but it's a strike / takedown. And again, we train together so often. I mean, there it is, the elbow. He has good control, and then I felt it come in, and I just went with it and went down. You build that trust with people when you train with them a lot. You just know it's going to be okay. You trust each other, and that's what happens in control tactics training so often. New students, they're all hyped up. They don't have any experience, and people overreact or over-resist, or their adrenaline kicks in even though they're just training, and people get hurt. So this is what it looks like when people train together a lot and they're just comfortable with each other. There I am with the 2-on-1. I tried to use a wrist lock, and he said, nope, not going to happen this time. And he pulled away, and my last act of defiance, I threw a roundhouse kick. Here he is doing another elbow. Colton definitely likes his strikes coming from an MMA and crowd background. But as you can see, he's no slouch at the clinch. It's one of his favorite ranges as well. Guys, the clinch work is so important because it's where you're going to end up before the takedown. If you're in law enforcement, you're going to end up in a clinch. He was going to do a fireman's carry, and I said, nope. So I sat down and to save myself from being thrown. And here he is demonstrating a variation of that, but instead of going to a fireman's carry, he just lets go and does a body lock. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. It was some good stuff in here, I think. Take care.
Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out.